pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of May 12, 2025. Need a second?
Second.
Vote?
Yes.
Motion to approve the bills? Second? Well, second it.
You did.
Vote?
Yes.
Any public here to speak on the agenda items only tonight? Okay. New business. We as supervisors have been trying to follow the rules that we were told we had to follow that were established in estimated time around 1997. The reason that's in there is because it seems like there's been a lot of slander going on about us. I guess only from certain people, but we all got rules we gotta follow, and we've said it in the past also, which pretty much all you guys are the ones that attend our meetings, but since it's recorded, maybe people on Facebook will get to see it or on our website, but we have people we gotta answer to too. There's a book, it's an ordinance book, and when we ran for supervisor, we said we wanted to make it fair for everybody, and which we have. But now that we seem to be following these rules, we get like slandered for it. There's been death threats for it. We've been told that we're dead men walking, which that's fine. We work for free. We don't take a pay just because we like our township. I don't know. So all I know is I know what happened at the last election. We know truly who voted for us and who probably didn't, but that's fine, because if the other ones do get in, well then, so
Good
be it.
luck.
I mean, good luck.
Good luck.
I'd like to know though, are they gonna come and volunteer because they like their community, like we have? I mean, I don't see it because they don't even come to our meetings. I mean, how do you gonna run this township if you don't even come to the meetings to know what we're even working towards? Because the biggest thing in this township, roads or any projects or anything, it isn't like our own personal business where we can just make a decision and move right to it the next day. Everything that requires much money, it takes time to get the money to, it's a process to save our township money. I mean, look at the grants we've gotten in the past. I mean, down on, I think they call that Old Beaver Creek down by Brian Ostler's house. That bridge, that's needed a bridge forever. I mean, when that pipe got washed out of there, now we did get grants to put that back. It's getting put back this year, hopefully. But I mean, it is what it is. I think when it comes to voting, and I hate to say it, but our township has been so divided. I've talked to people in Addison, and I've talked to people in Wharton Township, and it's a shame, but Henry Clay is so divided. It's crazy. You used to be able to help your neighbors and stuff. Now people are jealous of their neighbors because they have this or they have that. Well, everybody got the same opportunity. Go out and earn it. And if you don't want to earn it, well then be quiet about the ones that do. But no matter what they can say we're in here for our personal gain or whatever, but it is upsetting to me that that is said, because this township, me for one, has cost a lot of money. It costs me money to be here. Not only do I lose out on the business, but when something breaks down, I bring something of my own, and we get the job done, and a lot of times more efficient. So yeah, it's upsetting, but I just think there's no way you can weigh apples to apples, and if you are, so be it. Don't complain to me when the roads don't get plowed, or if the roads don't get paved. And I mean, just like it was said up to meet the candidate, whenever the one candidate said he was doing investigations. Well, I've heard that before, but there's nothing to investigate when you got guys working for free. So it is what it is. Not mentioning no names, but I know right now we only have one supervisor of CDLs, and if I don't stay one ahead or whatever, if I don't get in, which no big deal if I don't. I have other things to do.
It is a big deal.
It is.
It is for the ones that care.
It's for the community,
It is for the
maybe.
community.
What I'm
But,
saying is,
you know, apparently the community doesn't feel that way.
Well, this community does.
the community that comes to our meetings cares. And the communities that's a working force in our community cares, because they did show up for us.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, from what I hear, none of the 3 supervisors are gonna have CDL. So if you lose your workers, I mean, what do you do with a truck then? Nobody can drive it.
But I ran and I said I wasn't gonna be a working supervisor. I was gonna be here working, but not out on the roads. And I lied, because I'm out on the roads a lot plowing. I put $300 to $400 a month in my personal vehicle out of my personal pocket for gas and stuff like that. I don't charge them for any maintenance, nothing. That probably will not happen if this board changes up here.
Well, what I'm trying to say is the ones that's coming, that's going around saying that they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, and that is fine. But are they gonna come up here and set for nothing also, the same as we are, with no insurance?
No.
We've brought our township out a lot. I mean, we're debt-free now. We've got stockpiles of gravel, stockpiles of pipe. We've bought newer equipment. We've gotten grants for equipment. We've gotten grants for roads. We've got a newer mower tractor that we made a deal with the other township on. But if you don't go to these other township get-togethers and meetings and stuff, you're not gonna have the relationship with that. And that's all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, I do appreciate everybody's votes. And, I mean, hopefully we make the ballot to be there on the fall, but if we don't, it was fun while it lasted, and we've got other things to do. But,
The death threats are getting old though.
Yeah, that would be.
well, it does, it gets old, and then.
It isn't so much you're threatening maybe us, but, you get your wife that is afraid to walk around the house because your windows got there, they're gonna shoot and kill you. You got your parents, you can't go visit your parents because when you pull into your driveway or your parents' property, the other guy's giving you the California howdy doody all the time. I mean, it gets old after a while.
I'm just saying that,
If you were running to be transparent, you ought to be transparent.
but this stuff, a lot of people says they don't know what's going on in our township. Well, if you don't come to the meeting, how are you supposed to know unless you're just listening to certain sides? But since it's aired, where else are we gonna put it all out there other than here? I mean, so, I don't know if people don't talk to their neighbors or what, but I don't know. I think our township has come a long ways. I'm coming up on 6 years in here, but yeah, I think it's gonna be bad for the others.
My
So.
road's the best it's ever been.
We hear that about a lot of roads, and then I just don't understand it. I mean, to be all honest with you, whenever I found out how close the running was, I said give it to him, because my thing is, I don't wanna talk down on anybody, but even before I was supervisor, anybody that knows me knows, I'd help them do anything. I would even help on a road, do whatever. Compare apples to apples. How much has the other ones ever helped our community? Other than what we're going through right now, spending money, really none. I mean, so, it is what it is. And if you think you're gonna get in here as supervisor and change the rules, and just so you don't have rules, that's not gonna happen, because everybody has rules. We all got somebody that we're below. There's always somebody above us. I thought when I first got in as supervisor, I was gonna come in and change everything really fast. That doesn't happen. It takes so much time, and there is so much things you gotta do. But slowly but surely, we did change a lot. So, I just wanna say I appreciate everybody's vote, and I just think people need to talk to their neighbors more, and yeah, I mean, I'm not your door-to-door kind of person. I don't wanna bother you whenever you go home. So, if that's what you're looking for as a supervisor, somebody's gonna come door to door, I'm not your guy. So, but if you want your roads fixed and you want somebody you can call, drop a hat, don't matter if it's 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon, then I am. But other than that, appreciate y'all, and maybe we'll be here in January, maybe we won't. I guess we'll know sometime later this
Well,
week.
it sounds like you're giving a farewell speech, don't do that.
Well, actually,
the township's in a lot better financial shape due to the fact that you guys don't.
but
Well-
So if you'd take that amount that you'd had to pay you 3, if you would have been chartered, you wouldn't be where you're at.
right.
The township would not be where it's at.
We also performed the first audit, independent audit. These guys up here approved that.
Well, I mean,
So And he says he's gonna do an investigation on us, which kind of makes us scratch our head. What are you gonna investigate? What we took for free?
Well, but look at how many meetings we went through that our garbage was such a mess. I mean, it
boy.
was. We got that all straightened out. We've got it on a, I mean, it's actually an income for the township now. It's going smooth. Yeah, I mean, it's just, everything's going smooth, but it can all be torn apart real quick too.
No
But-
more free perks. When we come in, the garbage, all the supervisors and stuff before said that was a free perk. All the employees was getting free garbage. This one was getting free garbage. Their buddy's house was marked vacant. It was such a mess, they had to close that whole software down and restart it all over again.
Right. I just don't understand it though. I mean, I really don't. If you look back on it, it's upsetting. That's all. It's just upsetting.
We
But that's how
appreciate where you're going, Justice, keep going.
We do. Yes.
we will. But I'll know by the end of the week if I'm gonna make the ballot, but I'm gonna let you know now. If I don't make the ballot, I'm not gonna run as a write-in in the fall because I figure if he's gonna put the time in it to try to brag himself up, let him show it. So, prove it.
He can't run a one-man
But
car.
they're-
How's he gonna run?
But they're running on us trying to say they're gonna come in and shut us down a business, and which that's fine, try it, but the township can't afford to try to go around and do that, because if they do, there's a whole lot of people gotta come in compliance. And it ain't the guys up here, cause we've already did it. So, you can't say that about somebody when you're not in compliance yourself. So that's all, but,
And we see that 281's been worked on again down there. Of course, we don't get no millings again.
yeah, but I got blamed for taking millings though, and Steve Hubbard got millings this
Oh,
time.
he don't
But-
even own that piece of property and he blacked off the whole road.
I'm just saying, he got.
Free millings.
But he got millings, and Tory Wood blamed me for taking millings before, and he's writing up his campaign, and he ain't said a word about
No, he
them
won't say a
millings.
word.
So I'm just saying, yes, I'm aggravated, so, and I know I shouldn't put no name out there, but I will put those two names out there because them guys are crooked. That could be on video, I don't care about that.
Jesse, I've heard
It's the truth.
nothing, I've heard nothing said that Jesse was this and Larry this and David this, but I have been told by people that voted for the other candidate, you know, it's this and that, and I told him, I said, that's nothing but a bunch of lies. That's not, it's like, I've been told by two different ones that you're gonna close up, Steve's car lot. I said that was never in mine.
No, we
And
don't,
I said, besides, they said it was they didn't have anything to do with even the rest. It was the planning commission that turned it down and McMillan Engineering.
yeah, we just said he needed to get a permit to build that building, and you had to go through the proper steps, and he told us to go F ourselves, he wasn't doing that. So it was them committees that did that. They're their own boards for a reason, not us supervisors. We need all the business in this area we can get. Jared and I went and seen him and told him, if you just don't build that building, you can keep doing whatever you're doing.
Well, we told him to put his own driveway.
Put your own
actually. That was
driveway
it.
though, so you're on your own property. We're not surveyors. We can't say if it's your property or not. You've got to prove that to the boards. But when you don't show up to meet the boards, I mean, like it says on here, Gary Rishel said that in 1997, he had something to do with writing these
He had a
ordinances.
hand in writing the rules.
Right. So why is it our fault now that we're finally enforcing this stuff? I mean, and there should be no separate rules for nobody.
Gary
It ought to
said
be
he had a
fair.
hand in writing the rules, but he also cherry picked who had to follow the rules.
Yeah, and that's in writing, because that happened at
That
a
was
zoning
at
board.
That was
the
at
hearing,
zoning.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so,
tell me how that's fair.
but like I've said, we're getting punished for doing the right thing, but that's okay. It is what it is. I mean, but, yeah, we are upset because we did what we did to better our community. And now if these ones do come in, yeah, they're gonna look like a saving grace, probably, because we've got everything looking good.
Sure.
But give it a year or two, and it'll get back to the same old way, but you guys won't know about it because just like before, everything was kept out of these things, and nobody up here would tell you the exact truth.
Well, if they don't kill me, I'll sit up here and I'll try to inform everybody what's going on, but the death threats are
Well,
getting
Jesse,
old.
The way things are right now, aren't you gonna be on the ballot?
Right now, I'm one ahead in the Republic, unless we tie, and if we're tied, then I guess, they do something ridiculous to break a tie. But then if I don't get on the Democratic write-ins, then no, I won't be on the ballot. And if I'm not on the ballot, I'm not even gonna try to run for write-in, because Apparently God's got other plans for me, and I've got other plans, and instead of me worrying about on my weekends if I'm gonna be plowing, I'll probably be worrying about where I'm taking my boat. So, so there'll be other things to do, but I've did my best, I've tried. I've used my equipment, no charge, never took a gallon of diesel fuel from this place.
It's
So-
appreciated, it is appreciated.
So, and I appreciate you guys too, but I had to get it off my chest. I know some of us is gonna take what I said and run with it, but that guy's good at that and I don't care, so. Thank you guys. You guys got anything you wanna say?
You know something, Jesse, this reminds me of our presidential election this year too. You're Trump and you're fighting Biden and Obama.
But it's a shame our area has to be that way though.
And Biden and Obama was all full of lies.
That's been proven time and time again.
And I hate to say that.
Right.
It's true, I mean, all the things that I was told about other voters because of you did this and you guys did that and you guys did that. And I said, there's no truth in that. And I said, did you know that they sit on that board and they don't charge anything at all? Jesse, I said, they use a lot of his equipment and, but they were told.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up too, because I know I'm not supposed to say much, but we have an employee here that we all look after because, I mean, he's on our garbage crew and he does a heck of a job. He goes around patching potholes and stuff. And he's been encountered twice out here now. Should I say that?
He's been what, Jesse?
All right,
Don't
Steve.
say it.
Steve pulled up out here and was asking him about him voting and asking why he didn't vote. Which it's nobody's business who votes for who or if you're gonna vote or you're not gonna vote. But Mark was washing the truck out here and Steve pulled up and was questioning. Well, then Mark come in to tell the secretary that he was out there. When he went back out, he thought he left. So he went to the other side of the truck and he was parked on that side. Well, then he told him not to say nothing to nobody. Well, of course Mark's gonna tell us, and he told us. Well, then the next day, he shows up at his house, in which his house is on my property, and I wish he would have called me, because that ain't flying with me. But anyways, the only reason he's going to Mark is because Mark's a nice guy. Mark's
Very easy going.
very easygoing. Yeah,
He just goes with the flow.
he does, but he shouldn't be trying to pressure him into anything. Well, then he'd give him a paper. Now, this just happened last week. This was after the election.
Had him sign a paper.
Had him sign a paper and then told him it was about keeping the schools open. Now, everybody sitting in this room knows there ain't nothing any of us are gonna do about AJ McMillan staying open. So
Yeah,
I would
they
like
already
to
made
know,
that decision.
cause I look after Mark and so does these guys, and Dan's on the garbage with him, Dan looks after him too. Everybody that's around Mark looks after Mark. Mark's a good guy. But he convinced him to sign this paper saying it was to keep the schools open. But the schools has already been decided upon, you know, that at the end of this year,
So he doesn't
which the
really
school
know
has
what
the
he
school
signed.
board,
Exactly.
not us.
He signed.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Probably
he
Joy
signed
would
it
know.
and then he left. So my thing is, I told him he shouldn't have signed nothing.
No.
He really shouldn't have, and I told him if he ever comes on that property again, which I've already took precaution for that, so he can't be on my property no more, any of my property. But I know what he's doing. He just keeps poking and poking, and he knows if he goes through Mark, it's gonna aggravate us because we all look out for Mark. But, well, yeah, so he should go around and try to tell people that though, that how he's picking on somebody.
How would he know if
Somebody
he voted
like
or
Mark.
not? Somebody on the inside has to be telling him.
But he
Yeah.
even told.
It's your guys' business, your own private business, if you
Right.
vote or you don't vote.
Right.
So it has to be somebody
Right.
in that voting district up there
Well-
telling people who voted and who didn't vote.
He told him that he voted for me last year. I didn't run for nothing last year. I don't ever look to run for anything ever again. But I'm just saying, you shouldn't pick on somebody. Because I think bullying is ridiculous and they can call it investigations, they can call it whatever they want. I call it harassment and I call it bullying. And it's happened to Mark before. He was picking up garbage down through Martinsburg and he come around and took his picture. Now come on. I mean, this is getting ridiculous, and why is it always him? You know, because probably most people would have done broke your camera by now, but not Mark. I'm just saying, why don't he go around and tell people how he's treating that employee and what he's doing? This just isn't right. He's going around saying how he's gonna better the township, but he can't even tell you his plans. Up at the meet the candidate, he says he has plans, but I can't let it out right now. Well, that's just stupid.
That was the
Doing an
idea of the meeting.
investigation and I can't let it out right now.
Yeah,
That's
I mean-
the idea of that meeting though.
but you got
wasn't it?
lawsuits.
You had him in
You got lawsuits on us because you're not following the rules and it's our fault. Well, we didn't put this stuff in the rules. We're trying to work with everybody for any business. But at the end of the day, you gotta get a permit. But this stuff picking on somebody like Mark, that don't fly. That just don't get it, and we've had enough of that stuff. So unless it's to do with township business, that's the only way he's gonna be able to be here, so that's it. But yeah, the community says that we don't tell them or they don't know. Well, if they don't watch the video, they're not gonna know, but
What did he sign? Come to the meeting.
You don't know.
he doesn't
He doesn't
know.
know.
He said that it said on the paper,
Save the school.
save the school. But he said there was other signatures on it. And I said, Mark, it's too late to save the school. That's already over. I mean, this was just right at the day after the election. Well, it was the day after the election, he was here, and then the next day he showed up at his house, because whenever he was here, Mark said, he even told me where I lived. I said, well, Mark, it's a small community, everybody knows. He said, no, he told me my address.
Told him he
I
didn't
said,
vote,
well,
and he knew his address. So that has to be coming in from somewhere up there. So when you go to vote, it's not private anymore, guys, girls, ladies.
No, and I can tell, no, that's a fact.
So you got somebody leaking information.
They have a voters list
That you can
of
get.
people's addresses, so like, say if Jesse is running for a
They have a
position-
list, but they don't have a
You can
list that tells you if you vote or you
No,
don't
but they
vote.
don't have like all their addresses,
Right.
whether they're
He
Democrat, Republican.
come out and said you didn't vote. How
Yeah.
come?
Yeah, how do you know he didn't do a mail-in ballot or something like that? But I'm just saying,
Wasn't- I don't know, who said-
Bullying-
Who voted.
bullying's supposed to be a thing, so why isn't it?
Yes.
Why isn't it a
Judge
thing?
of election?
Huh?
Can we have a judge of election?
Good luck.
Huh?
Good luck
Yeah.
getting the truth out of him.
Right back there.
They were supposed to keep them from standing in front of the door and barricading the doors, but they didn't do that.
15 feet. to the door.
Well, they tell me 10. Isn't that what you told
Yeah,
me,
but that
Tori?
ain't- But that ain't true.
10
either.
feet.
What's that?
10 feet from the doors.
I can hear what you said.
Okay, never mind.
And that's your judge of elections right there. Imagine that. But, all right, we gotta move on. But I had legends know our side, because if we don't say our side, it don't get told. So we done told our side.
Why didn't they ever shut up for a meeting?
Well, they don't. That's just it. They don't.
Then you'd have to know what's going on.
Like I said, I'd just like to know what have they done for the community versus what we've done for the community.
It's gonna be a pretty tough job informing you guys, like when the material's missing and, you know, all that, because
And our gas bill, since I've been here for 6 years, our gas bill's lower now than it's ever been. And we don't have no less or no more of a gas vehicle. It's just nobody's sucking out of the tank. That's the thing. And I'm talking regular gasoline also. Cause I know for a
Little
fact,
Blue don't get no gas out of the tank.
yeah, my vehicles don't either.
You say we got extra pipe in the back too? No one's taking pipe and selling it or anything?
Yeah, no, nothing.
No, that should have been
That one.
jail time for somebody.
Well, all I gotta say is good luck. I'm not hurt over if I lose the election. If I lose the election, I'll be man enough to say congratulations to the next guy. But doing it the way they're doing it, that ain't right. And there's no way standing side by side, apples to apples, that you could possibly see the difference. I just think it's a shame that the jealousy in this township has divided everybody so bad.
I will
I mean-
say, if something goes sour, which I really hope and pray it don't, but if something goes sour, I hope the people in the crowd would like to keep the constable, especially with the death threats that's going on. I mean, I'll show up. I don't know how many of us might fall down, but, you know.
I'll still be here.
Jesse,
We'll
you
protect
haven't
you, don't
lost
you
yet.
worry.
That's what he's worried about.
I won't
I'm
mind.
sure I got-
I won't mind sitting on that side.
It's not over yet.
Not over till the fat lady sings.
Where is that fat lady?
He's not here.
All right.
Start
Jesse, I'm sure if you
singing.
were both tonight, if you
So-
was here, you'd get the majority.
Yeah.
Well,
And the
we,
majority, if it was honest, and that it's, I mean, mean, that's what I said about me being asked and told about. It was lies that was being told me, and that's what put me against really the other party, because it was lying,
Right.
and so I wouldn't know.
Well, I mean, you guys attend our meetings though. You know what's going on in our township. We tell you what's going on in our township. And we don't hide nothing from you guys. I mean, but these other people that we never see, you know, that's the ones that are getting knocks on their door and getting lied to. But it's foolish of them not to talk to their neighbor to see what's actually going on. I mean, it's just crazy. But
Or you
do what?
said, or talk to you.
Yeah, that's right. They could get a hold of us. I mean, it's so easy to get a hold of us. We're simple. But I don't know, just divided and it's not good. All right,
The
Joybird.
thing is, Jesse, excuse me, but you're gonna make it, and if you do, I'd stick with the people that is behind you, and
If I make it, I'll stick in there
Anyway,
because of the people that is behind me. I won't drop out if I make it because,
Trump didn't give up.
right,
You see where he's at.
right. Well, if I make it, I'll stay in there just because of you guys, because the biggest part though is our non-voters they ain't gonna vote for us no matter what anyways. It wouldn't matter if SpongeBob ran, he would got more votes than us, because they just don't like us. And to be honest with you, we talked about this morning when we was out here. If you would sit these people down and say, hey, what have I ever done to you? Well, I'll probably give them credit on something and they don't like me because they didn't pay me. Or same way with these guys. They honestly can't say we've never did nothing to them because we don't do nothing to nobody, hardly ever. I mean, and if I did do something to you, tell me what I did. That's all. I mean, well, I mean, but I get along with everybody. I mean, when we're out on the roads, there was a lot of times, and just about every time, and everybody in here can say it, whenever you passed the township working on the roads years ago, you could wave, and they wouldn't wave. Nobody passes me that I don't wave. Even if I didn't mean to wave, I wave. I wave to everybody. It just happens. I mean, let's just be nice. We're all in a little area, just be nice.
Well, then, Jesse, as far as Jared there, there ain't a nicer guy around.
Jared's a heck of a nice guy, but
Oh, he can't be.
he was behind on votes at the polls too, and that's why I'm saying there's no way you're gonna, and I'm not saying nothing bad about his candidate either, but it's just, there's no comparisons, that's all. I mean, I like the other candidate as a person also, but as a work ethic, I mean, he's a good worker too, but some people were just past their prime, I guess, I don't know.
You got Rod, or, big boy's always what we call him, but anyway, I don't think you'll have any trouble with it. He's level-headed.
Oh yeah, he's a nice guy, I've known him for years, yep, very nice guy.
But,
I think his house is a factor.
Right, that's what I like.
but Jesse, we're still with you. We don't like it either, we don't know what to do about it, but,
All I'm saying is if you're running for revenge for this position, you shouldn't do that for your community.
but I don't understand something. If you did win,
If I,
you're one vote ahead, okay?
right,
If that's the case, isn't your name gonna be on the ballot?
Yes,
if it stays,
that way.
it's not,
I said if it stays that way.
if it stays that way, it's not certified yet or whatever they call it.
Official.
Yeah, official, it's not official yet.
Because
not
of the dead
official.
people voting.
You'd have to be right.
Because of the dead people that
If we
voted, they
didn't
gotta
vote.
get them
Right.
out of there.
Yeah,
They can't make
But-
them believe that they don't.
we'll know here later this week, so we'll know.
Are you still allowed to take people in and vote for them?
I don't
They
think,
tried that. I don't think it worked this time.
yeah, I think it got stopped
Yeah.
this time.
The district attorney was trying to keep an eye on some of this stuff too.
We are a lot wiser at all this stuff now. They've made us a lot smarter. That's why I said if they run for the wrong reasons and they do get in here and try to come after us, we know all the right people. So they shouldn't do that. They should just do it for the better of their community and that's all. I mean, yeah, we all need the rules lightened up around here. We need to change our ordinances and we are working on that right now because we did find money to get the, to start funding that, but we wanted to try for 100% funding. So Tammy's looking into that right now, but we're a couple months away from doing that. And we might be able to redo that whole ordinance book to match our area, because everything you go to do goes back to that ordinance book, and it does not match our area. There is no way in 97, if I had anything to do with writing that thing, that I would admit, but they do admit it, so it needs redone. Times change, people change, things change, it needs to change. Because just like for a business, it says 5 acres. There isn't hardly any businesses around here that has 5 acres. And certain businesses shouldn't need 5 acres. I mean, depending on what you're doing, and especially if you got city water or city sewage, which hopefully we get sewage up 40 one of these days. But definitely city water is a game changer for now. So why do you need that many acres? You shouldn't have to have it. So you should be able to get away with an acre. And some businesses you should be able to put right by your house. I mean, depending on what you got. But we're working to change it. It just takes time. It can't be done overnight. We wish it could, but it can't.
A lot of the rules could be real simple, but you still should have to enter and exit on your own property. You should still build by a setback. I mean, nobody wants to have somebody build within 2 feet of their house.
That's the first thing planning and zoning looks at anyways, is how are you entering, how are you exiting? Because whenever I had to do all my stuff, they look at that. Because Dick Fike was there then, and he's like, well, you got a plan for later down the road, and he's not wrong, because what if you sell that business? Then people, whoever buys it, can't be landlocked. They gotta have a way to get in and get out. So you gotta make sure you got access. So, but that all goes to our boards. Yeah, we have the final say in the end, but, I mean, we're gonna be as lenient as possible. Look at the rumors that went around about the dollar store. And we was for the dollar store the whole time. We're like, yeah, we need a business. It still ain't in. That's gotta be the slowest built dollar store I've ever seen. Most time you drive to town and back, they done build a dollar store. Heck, this has been a long time.
See on bag flying around, it's like a seed.
Next dollar store.
That's the next one.
All right, I'm gonna move on down through here, and we'll talk again in a little bit. All right, Joey Bird is resigning from the planning secretary. We would like to appoint Mackenzie Miller for the new planning secretary. I make a motion to approve Mackenzie as the planning secretary. I need a second.
I'll second it.
A vote?
Second.
Yes.
Vote yes.
Yes.
Is that Mackenzie over there?
Yes, that's Mackenzie over there. She looks shy. She's red in the face. All right. The mowing will be starting soon. We had a guy off, but he's supposed to start back up next week. Hopefully he does, and if he doesn't, then we're gonna put somebody else in the tractor. We bought the tractor that Wharton Township had, and it's a very nice tractor, and it's been well taken care of, so we only wanna put one person in it so that it stays well taken care of. And that's just gonna be his job, just going around mowing constantly. So we're about, 2 weeks behind on it, but hopefully next week we'll be getting caught back up on that.
Just if you see the mower coming your way and you got something that you don't want mowed, please let him know,
Yeah.
because he likes to mow.
Yeah, he likes to mow.
Yeah.
All right, the Mountain Fellowship Center is going to have a 5K run profit for Bundle Up, and would like to have it on Martin Road like they have in years past. They have not had one for a couple years. A date has not been set, but will be in the fall. As it gets closer time towards the fall, as soon as they give us a date, we'll let everybody know, so somebody feels like running. Clarence? Feel like jogging around.
If I'm running, something on 4 legs is chasing me.
Right. But we'll keep you updated on all that. All right, old business. We're working on roads when the weather and time permitted, filling potholes and cleaning ditches. We've been making our rounds. I know this last rain was really hard on us. Did the guys make it down on Martin Road today, down by Beaver Creek? You did? Okay.
It's good, it's fixed.
You just fixed it? All right.
So
So, yeah,
washed
just,
out on the hill, you mean.
yeah, down by
Needs a bigger
Billy's.
pipe. Needs a bigger pipe, but other than that,
Okay. Well, when you get a rain that hard, I mean, you're on the hillside, it's bound to
Is
happen.
that the one that's going up towards Billy's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesse, you talking about bad roads, you inherited the bad roads.
Oh, we did, but
They were already there.
a hard rain like that, like we've been having lately, sure don't help us none.
Yeah.
But we're trying, and just bear with us and we'll get there. I know here real soon, we're gonna have to get back down to Medford with this rain we've been having, we'll just have to address it another time. cause I'm sure it's washed out.
Back down where?
Medford, back down towards the lake, it's bad. We was down there.
Is all that road down there, is that, public road, or some of them just driveways that you guys?
Well, partway down there, before you get to the end, I don't know how many yards it would be from the bottom, maybe 75 yards, I'd say, up from the bottom is where our road stops, but we gotta go to the bottom to turn around to come back up. But yeah, it's,
Can you back?
no, it's that road that you said about not going down and fix nothing on for yourself. Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's that bad, it's bad. But, so we'll have to go down and address it again since all this rain.
They did call, there was 2 people called today.
Really?
Yeah.
And Sugarloaf Road, we had a meeting, what day was that? Was that Friday? No, Wednesday.
Yeah.
We had a meeting Wednesday.
Not a meeting, just we met with the.
Yeah, it wasn't a meeting. We just met with the engineer, I guess, of that road. 'Cause they're-
Engineer and the guy was gonna work on
Contract.
Keystone.
Keystone, yeah, about the paving and stuff and how they're gonna do it and what they're gonna do. So they're getting ready to start on that road again. But like I said, as we get the funding, we keep hitting the road, so that's what we're doing.
Where'd you get the money to do?
Grant.
We got a grant.
A grant.
281?
Oh, 281's the state. No, we didn't have nothing to do with
I
that
thought it
one.
was ours. I thought
Yeah.
we were
Yeah,
taking
not
it.
my fault again. All right, engineers report. Jason, you got anything?
Status quo as far as I know.
Solicitors report. David, you still awake?
Yes, I'm here. I don't have anything for you guys tonight.
All right.
Okay.
Any public want us to talk about anything else? Oh my, I know what you're going to say.
No, you don't.
Am I wrong this time?
You're gonna be happy. Yeah.
Am I gonna be happy?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
come here. Like I said, I drive an hour. Some to come here and complain. I'm gonna drive an hour and some to come here and say thank you. The dumpster's been moved. I haven't seen the 300 buggies coming. I haven't seen the pickups coming with all the trash.
Did you see the picture of it last week?
It was busy last week. There's a great.
Was it
I was
last
down
week
there,
or the week before?
but it wasn't all over the all open.
So,
doors
yeah, it
and
was.
was it?
Yeah.
Well, there used
It
to
was
be
over full,
2 dumpsters.
2x4s, carpet. It
Used to
was
be 2 down. Well, there's.
overrun.
I went down there Sunday at 3 o'clock, and the dumpster shouldn't have been about half full.
So
I don't
was
know
it?
when they picked it up this week. but
It wasn't all over the ground then, right?
I didn't see it at 2 o'clock Monday when I left Memorial Day Monday at 2 o'clock. It was full. It was.
Right.
They're too damn lazy to lift the back lids up and throw it in. I can say that. But
Right.
I didn't see it laying all over the ground and the cats ripping it all apart and garbage laying everywhere on the ground. So.
Hey, at least it's all positive feedback, right?
I came to complain. I wanted to come and say thank you to the 3 of you.
We appreciate
Well,
it.
thanks
Thank
for
you.
letting us
It's a
know.
lot easier to come and yell, and no one probably comes to say thank you, and I wanted to make sure I did.
The people that do come and say thank you is the people like these guys that all attend our meetings all the time. They say thanks for the roads and stuff, but
Right.
then whenever it gets time to keep things rolling, because the only way you make change in the township is if you keep things rolling. I mean, but I don't know, it is what it is.
I understand, that's my saying, it is what it is, but.
Huh?
It was good shape down there because they knew Danny Bird was on it.
That's right.
But, so, that's all I have to say is, to you guys, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully it continues going that
Hopefully,
way.
I've been trying to keep an eye on it myself, so, thank you,
Thanks for letting us know.
yes.
Anybody else got anything they wanna say?
Hey Jesse, you can only serve one, or please one guy at a time, you don't know who that guy is.
It was me this time.
Yes.
I was just wondering if you've, still considering the, allowing the side-by-sides, the ATVs on the,
Yes.
side streets and that in the township. and
Yeah, we was just
how it's
waiting,
going.
we was just waiting to advertise that whenever we advertise the other stuff, whatever comes up first that we do with the next ordinance. And that should be within the next,
September? I thought you said last meeting sometime in September maybe?
We're hoping.
Yeah, we're,
I thought you said maybe in September you'd have all that.
This
more
is new to me.
information.
We're gonna accept registrations for side-by-sides?
how does that work?
As far as I know, the registration's done through the state.
Yeah. it's pretty
When
much
you
the same
buy
thing the state allows.
ATV or side by side,
Yeah.
the state makes you register it now.
Correct.
It has
And that
to,
registration would be good for our secondary roads,
Secondary.
Secondary roads.
and it needs an approval by our township supervisors?
Not really,
No.
but.
The police say they won't enforce it anyhow. The police say if there's a problem,
Well, then we know there's gonna be a problem,
Yeah.
especially if we advertise that we're giving registrations away to ATV.
yeah, it's.
Well, we're not, I mean, it'll be the same thing you've always had to have through the state.
I
It won't
think,
be nothing any different.
cause Wharton already did it and so did Stewart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you already
I
have
know
to
Stewart
register.
did.
Yeah, I know Stewart did.
Yeah, I don't think it's that they're giving registrations away, it's you're approving that you're allowed to ride on the road if you are registered.
and that was made
And
with some
insured.
sense.
Yes.
And insured.
Yes.
Registered and insured.
And with sense, like he said, you can't be just ripping and tearing because that's,
Try and stop
Not
these
legal.
people that are
Right.
ripping and tearing, it's impossible.
yeah, you're
That's
Well,
right.
that's when we're hoping everybody calls the state police, because as the state police gets enough phone calls, because little Johnny didn't behave himself, maybe little Johnny will get arrested and go back to his parents.
Little Johnny shouldn't be out there because he's not 16 and doesn't have a
Right.
driver's license.
Well, the problem is, like
I
he,
hear some of them going
Twelve
to
gauge
the
does a pretty good job. That's awful, this is
Yeah.
the best it's been, because of course there's no bridge.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And
why.
I can't believe
Yeah.
that there's something we can do or to, we don't need ATVs running our roads. They're
Well, I
It's gonna rip
disagree
the
with you
roads,
on
the
that.
township roads are gonna be, gravel roads, they're gonna have that stone thrown off so fast.
yeah, there isn't much place for them to ride side by side anymore is the problem because nobody wants them on the property either.
Everybody's too happy.
They are, and that's a liability. You're
Yeah.
exactly right. That's why they don't want them on there.
Well, that's why
They're
you
gonna
get
be on the road
registration.
whether you let them or not.
I guess,
Right.
I think
Yeah.
90% of it's already happening.
Exactly.
I go to Turkey Foot fishing game, there's more side by sides in there than cars,
Right.
you know?
Right.
I mean,
And you do, you have a lot of people sort of like ourselves that ride around and just take our time, and you have some people that just rip and tear. And hopefully the ones that rip and tear will calm down.
Yeah.
As long as they aren't going donuts.
Yeah, as long as they're not doing donuts.
You just have a
Right.
few people that abuse it.
Most of them
Mark
now
that
got.
15.
Anybody else got anything?
70, 80 miles
I
an
know
hour.
what it is, Doc. That's what a lot of them driving now, and they are, you know, they do, you know,
Anybody
like
else?
down at the club where you was talking about, you know,
We
the
good?
side by sides.
Anybody else got
There's
anything?
people come in down there on side by side, you know, they're just driving like you do in a car, you know,
Yeah.
they do,
Yeah.
you know.
All right, we got executive session, and then that's about it. So, if nobody else got anything to say,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.
I can't adjourn until we get done with our executive session.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Just to make a motion to go into executive session.
All right, I make a motion. We go into executive session.
Second
Vote
it?
yes. All right. Thank you guys for coming tonight.